Now, as the 16th Ordinary Summit of East African Heads of State came to a close yesterday, South Sudan's application to be a member of the summit is yet to be accepted. This has been as a result of the conflict that pits the government against the opposition in South Sudan. Sudanese people living in the country now want their leaders to finally come up with a solution in the talks that resumed yesterday. Talks to help troubled South Sudan to realize peace and stability began yesterday, a day that coincided with the close of the 16th Ordinary Summit of East African Heads of State. The situation in the country was also talked about, with member states pointing out that stability in the region was key towards realizing a united political federation.
It is our obligation as regional leaders to maintain our keen interest in initiatives, efforts to restore peace and stability in these countries, in those countries of our region which have been troubled by conflict.
President Salva Kiir attended the summit, but not in his capacity as a participating member. The country, even though willing to join the community as a member state, has met enough hurdles towards achieving that dream, and it is mostly because of the conflict between the opposition and the government. The citizens of South Sudan living in the country, and especially young people, are now calling for an end to selfish interests as the country resumes its talks.
The ongoing war has displaced over 2.5 million people, and 2.5 million more are actually at risk of famine. And we call on the warring parties to end these conflicts as much as possible.
In 2011, 9th of July, we rained on the streets of Nairobi, the streets of Addis Ababa, the streets of Cairo, the streets of New York, and the streets of Sydney, celebrating peace, celebrating the love that we have for our country, celebrating the independence that we got. That was a great history that we wrote. But a few years down the line, what is happening? It is so saddening, and we know that our leaders are capable men who have worked for all the years for South Sudan.
The country, at its current fragile, peaceful state that was achieved through efforts by the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, risks retrogressing on its developmental agenda, especially if providence of quality education will heavily rely on peace.
Specifically, we urge the two leaders and their supporters to bury their differences and work together for the sake of peaceful South Sudan.
We are calling upon our leaders to hear the voice of the students, because we believe that a country without education, there's no future. We are here in Kenya today that because there are people who are well educated to make sure that the economy grow on a daily basis.
The talks to end the more than a year-long conflict resumed yesterday, even as news that the military spokesman for South Sudan's armed opposition defected from the group hit the headlines. Observers say the move was due to concerns about the movement's leadership.